We've all heard about the Mount Rushmore debates. Whether it's sports, movies, or music, the idea is simple. If you had to carve out the four most important foundational figures into the side of a mountain for all of history to see, who would they be? It's not necessarily about who is the flashiest, but it's about who defined the game. In Minecraft, we have thousands of farm designs. You can automate everything from dragon eggs to tropical fish. A lot of us fall into this trap where we spend the first 20 hours in a world building machines just so that we can build more machines. We get rich in items that we don't actually use, and by the time we're finally ready to start that mega base or creative project, we've kind of burnt out of the project altogether. We spent all our energy on the farm building treadmill that is early game Minecraft. And it's a tough hurdle to get over, don't get me wrong. Like, I've fallen into this trap so many times. I really enjoy building farms. But this process can get mind-numbing after a while, so I want to make the Mount Rushmore of Minecraft farms. Now, these aren't the richest farms. These are the 4 farms that offer the best effort to reward ratio. I chose them because they provide the items that appear the most useful in crafting recipes, the stuff that actually lets you stop grinding and start playing the game. These 4 farms are the industrial foundation that prevents burnout by automating that boring stuff so you can get back to the fun stuff. And by that, I mean building and redstone design. If you enjoy building farms, nothing against you. Also, I'm only going to count farms that actually give drops. So a villager farm and a villager trading hall technically should be on this list, but they don't drop anything. So I don't like calling it a farm in the conventional sense. All of these farms will be in the description down below, and I will credit all the farm creators, as they deserve to be known. With all that being said, let's get into it, shall we? To be honest, the first face of this mountain is a no-brainer, and it has to be iron. Its utility is kind of unmatched in terms of the natural ores that spawn in the ground. Think about every major project that you've wanted to do. A multi-item sorter, that uses thousands of hoppers. A villager trading hall is hundreds of rails and minecarts. Anvils, buckets, pistons, everything relies on iron. And here's the hard truth. It's impossible to mine iron at an industrial scale. Mining is linear. You get exactly what you put in terms of effort. To get 1,500 iron ingots in a sorting system, you have to spend hours at Y level 16. It's a motivation killer. An iron farm is the ultimate burnout killer because it has the best effort to reward ratio in the game. Now, all the old school players know that old iron farms used to be built with like 100 doors and 20 villagers, but nowadays that's not the case. Now you just need 3 beds, 3 villagers, a trapdoor, a zombie in a boat, and a pit to kill the iron golem. It's so easy, and you get so much out of it. And the only reason you wouldn't build an iron farm is either because of ethics and not wanting to kill so many iron golems, or you're doing some kind of challenge that makes it so that you can't use villagers for some reason. The point being is that you can build a functional iron farm in the first hour of a world with a few beds and a zombie. And by automating this first, you can buy back your future time. You stop seeing a hopper as an expensive investment and start seeing it as a basic utility. You stop playing Inventory Management Simulator and start your journey to becoming a redstone engineer. Now, it's funny that I mention hoppers specifically because they don't actually even use redstone, but they do use the next farm on my list, with that farm being wood and bamboo. If iron and redstone are like the nervous system of your farms and projects, then wood is like the skeleton. It's like the literal shell that holds your entire world together. And we often overlook wood because it feels basic, but when you audit your crafting history, it's a logistical nightmare. Every single hopper, the most used block in automation, requires a chest, and that's 8 planks per hopper. If you're building your standard multi-item sorter, you aren't just looking for iron, you're looking at thousands and thousands of planks. And here's where the burnout sets in. Manual woodcutting is a low engagement, high effort task. You spend 20 minutes just swinging an axe just to get enough chests for one module of a storage room. It breaks up the creative flow, and you're not an engineer anymore. You're just a lumberjack for like 2 hours. This is why bamboo is the true utility king of the 1.21 era. With the addition of bamboo wood, we finally have an instant wood source. Think about the effort to reward ratio here. A traditional TNT-based TNT farm is a bigger project. It is a face number 5 or 6 farm, but bamboo You can build a flying machine based harvester in like 10 minutes. It's low lag, zero maintenance, and it produces a wood type that is functionally identical to oak or spruce for 90% of your needs. It's not just about chests though. Bamboo provides infinite sticks, scaffolding, and fuel. By automating bamboo, you are deleting one of the most repetitive chores in the game. You are ensuring that when inspiration strikes and you need to craft 64 chests for a new sorting system, you can just walk over to your silo and grab them. It keeps you in the building mindset and keeps you off the grinding treadmill. It's the literal foundation of your industrial supply chain. But not only that, but they clog up like half the retail space of every thumbnail involving like these farm industrial districts, so they also look great. I mean, there's a reason why everyone builds bamboo farms nowadays instead of wood farms. It's just the meta in terms of getting like industrial amounts of wood. Third on the mountain is cobblestone. Now I know what you're thinking. Cobblestone. I have like a double chest full of that from my last mining trip. But in the world of industrial automation, cobblestone is probably the easiest obtainable block in Minecraft for building every other farm. Like, I wouldn't have put it this high up if it didn't have so many crafting recipes and was so useful in building all of the other farms on this list. Alright, before we hit the final face of the mountain, we have to talk about the honorable mentions. These are the farms that almost made the list, but ultimately fell short just because of their effort to reward ratio being a little bit more specialized. First of all, gold and bartering. Like, I love infinite gold, and the versatility of the items they give you is immense. But unless you're doing massive amounts of piglin bartering or powered rail projects, gold is kind of a secondary resource. It's great to have, but it won't help you build your storage room and your technical projects. Next up is sugarcane. It is super important to have sugarcane in your world, don't get me wrong, and it's fairly easy to automate it, but it's fairly slow until you get later into the game. It's a really great farm, don't get me wrong. Sugarcane is absolutely essential for late game Minecraft. It's useful, but it only provides really one good resource, and for that I just couldn't put it on the mountain. And then finally, I was really considering putting this one on. But after raid farms got nerfed in 1.21.2, I couldn't find any designs that were purely self-sustaining, and this last farm is just slightly better than the outputs of these farms. May I get a drum roll please for the last farm on this list? The final face on this mountain is the Gnembon Mob Farm. Now I had a tough time with this last one. The first three were kind of like no-brainers. Cobblestone, wood, and iron all have a ton of crafting recipes and are super useful in all aspects of the game. Not only that, but they're super cheap and easy to make as well. Bamboo, cobble, and iron can all be set up within a very short time frame of each other and provide outputs with literally like hundreds of crafting recipes. And this farm is slightly more intermediate in terms of how much it costs to build. But when I say it's worth it and that it does it all, I mean that it's worth it and it does it all. A lot of people think they need to build a specialized creeper farm or a skeleton farm right away, but you shouldn't do that. That's more work for less variety, and it's a shortcut to burnout. Instead, what you should go for is a flushing platform layout. It's a simple design where water periodically flows over multiple floors, pushing everything into a central drop chute. It's a 4-in-1 type deal. You build one machine and it solves 4 of your biggest problems in the early game. First, you get gunpowder. This is freedom. Without it, you don't have rockets, and without rockets, your elytra is basically a glorified cape. If you have to walk 2,000 blocks every time you need supplies, the game starts to feel like a job. Gunpowder keeps you flying and in the air. But the real secret to this farm is the bones. Think of bone meal as the skip button for Minecraft. Usually you have to sit around and wait for things to happen. You wait for trees to grow, you wait for bamboo to pop up, but when you have a chest full of bone meal, the waiting all ends. As I mentioned before, bamboo is great and has many advantages over wood farms, and this is one of its biggest ones. The fact that it doesn't even use bone meal. But not only that, it provides a sufficient amount of string to start making wool for whatever you need for small projects. If you need beds, just 12 string and you got the wool. Arrows and rotten flesh aren't as useful, but hey, you can trade rotten flesh with villagers, and arrows are kind of nice to have, I guess. I don't know, I just mostly burn them when I use this farm. But also importantly, one more thing to note about this farm is that it produces a small amount of redstone and glowstone because it has witch drops. Witches are a natural spawn, which means that you can get them from a general mob farm. The original design for this farm was by Gnembon, but it's been iterated upon so many times that I can't really keep up, so I'll just put the best one in the description along with Gnembon's design. Alright, ultimately this is just my opinion, and you can have your own Mount Rushmore in the comments down below. If I didn't mention a farm, sorry, but I don't know, it's just not top tier. I know Slime and Honey, Slime and Honey is so fun to play with, but I don't know, I don't think flying machines are absolutely essential. Ultimately, as a redstoner, personally, I would have put witches and raid farms on this list if I had just a little tiny bit more room. If you enjoyed this video, maybe you could give me a like or a subscribe, or if it was useful to you, or if you didn't like it, then you can dislike it. I don't know, I'm not your mom. Also, I might be making a Discord and a Minecraft server soon, so stay tuned for that.